In fact, it's probably the only conference and the only country which we are following so closely. The initial conference, as you know, was May 2013. I was myself then with a few others in Mali in November to get a first follow-up round locally organized, and now 3 months afterwards we are here. And it's true when we said we would re-invite again everyone, namely the full government. We would invite the donors, we would have the World Bank, we would have the African Union, everyone come here. The first echo was, do we really need this? And I'm pleased to say that we, with keeping the momentum on Mali, I do think this is part of the success if at the end of the process Mali really emerges as a restabilized country, fully back on track on the constitutional side, with the North more or less pacified. I think we need to recognize, yes, if we are so seriously engaged as we were in May 2013, confederating at the time, I think 80 countries, getting 50 countries to pledge, I think a total of 3.3 billion, 2/3 of which already rolled out. Yes, I would not call it babysitting the process, but I think we need to partner sit the process and really focus on it regularly and keep that level of commitment. We cover quite comprehensively, also as DEFCO, issues ranging from security, electoral support, constitutional support, but still remaining focused with larger programs on poverty alleviation and addressing sort of destitute refugees in the northern areas. So overall, it's for once I think also a very good story where we don't only brag with numbers, and I think we can brag. I mean, we have out of the 523 million euros committed, almost committed that to the last euro. And 2/3 of that has already been paid out. A lot of that through budget support. But for most of these operations, we have a good tracking mechanism on individual beneficiaries, be they in the area of security trained, be they in the health sector, be they in the agricultural sector, or be it in the area of displaced people. I mean, the interesting part of Mali is that it's not a crisis country. I mean, it had a constitutional crisis, but it's not the same as South Sudan nor the Central African Republic. So we have not used what we usually do in the New Deal countries, with starting from a clean slate. And the interesting part was the Malians themselves wanted to get back to their constitutional order. So it's a bit of a standalone process, but it draws nonetheless on the commitment to the comprehensive approach. And there I think Mali would stand out, I hope also for the years to come, as one of the first good precedents on combining European-led military intervention, in this case the French, backed up then by European training missions, with a large development agenda. There's one thing we need to add is that the gender did not figure prominently on this particular agenda, but it's not that it's not part of the overall response. The minister in the north was very clear to say that they actually had a good consultative process rolling, including with meetings in the next few weeks, addressing particularly the role of women in overcoming the conflict. So I thought that was interesting, but it was a fair critique which came from the audience. They have two large industries they need to bank on. Primarily it's agriculture, which is underutilized. They have still an inefficient big Office du Niger, which is sort of a larger irrigated scheme along the Nile, which needs still further reform. They have a cotton industry which used to be sort of inefficiently subsidized, but which has a good sort of potential for for value added. They have a lot of the fishing industry, which is sort of ineffectively tapped. And what they proposed, and most people felt was credible, is to work with 3 or 4 regional business-oriented centers where they would confederate. They would try to pool more effort on the value chain. And this is something which was explained a bit more in detail. It was also linked to reforming the access to credit, where everyone realized that the big corporations and the microfinancing is there, but for the middle down the road type medium and small enterprise, there is not yet the funding there. And this is something we could also address and put on the agenda for our next meeting.